Welcome to another exciting episode of Iokua Hates Everything. I'm Iokua. I hate everything. This time around, Splinter Cell for the Xbox 360. It's my first Splinter Cell game. I've never played one before. I never had the desire to. I was struck with the random urge to play something stealthy. First thing right off the bat, I know Ubisoft is French, and this was made by Quebecois in the glorious land of Quebec. Why the hell did they forget the N? Ubisoft production? Un-Ubisoft production. Now, as far as I'm aware, in previous Splinter Cell games, you were more of a sneak to your goal, try not to get detected, so on and so forth. That's not the case this time around. Sam Fisher is pissed, and he's taking it out on everyone and everything in his way. And that's actually quite satisfying. Part of the reason I don't like games like this usually is because I don't like sneaking around because I'm inherently bad at it. In this, you don't worry so much about being seen, so much as you just kill every motherfucker who sees you. That is pretty much the name of the game. Kill everything. Now, the game, it's very intuitive. It doesn't rely on hubs. Your goals are listed on environment objects, like the projected kind of like a movie. It's kind of like they're using things around you as a movie screen. It's quite creative. I mean, there's tons of ways to take out your enemies. You can jump on them from above. You can just beat the crap out of them if you use a melee attack. You can use the execute skill, which is really cool. You can shoot things in the environment and take them out. When they first presented this at E3 2008, it was more of a sandbox type game, and I'm kind of sad they didn't keep up with that, because that actually would be neat using this style of gameplay, in that kind of manner. But I digress. The game itself is extremely short right off the bat. That's my biggest number one complaint. It's 5 hours long, the main campaign of the game, and there's not much variety to it. Yeah, there's different things you do. You've got a bunch of different weapons you can use. You're not always just trying to hunt your enemies. Sometimes you are trying to use stealth. But at a very basic level, the game is 5 hours long, and that's just, to a certain extent, it's not enough. No matter how many guns you have, no matter how many gizmos you've got to play with, at a very basic level, with only 5 hours of the game to experience, it's a little limited. That said, there is a lot of variety in the basic level design, aside from this one mission I'm showing you right now, which you just randomly go back to the Gulf War, which makes no fucking sense, because they turned it from a stealth-based hunting experience to a cover shooter. I picked this up to... I didn't pick it up to play Gears of War. What I'm showing you right now is probably one of the most boring and fun parts of the game. On the one hand, it's boring because it's just an interactive cutscene. On the other hand, it's interrogation, and there's so many cool things to do. Well, to your victims in the various interrogation scenes, this is one of my favorites. Head through TV. Nice. And head into soundboard. Boom. I mean, you gotta feel bad for this guy. You just beat the holy unliving shit out of him, and I mean, you do this 4 or 5 times throughout the game, and it's gory, and it's brutal, and it's that mature-rated content that you're buying this game for. You're not buying it to see kittens and rainbows. Now, this right here is one of my favorite parts of the game. Like your goals, any cutscenes and flashbacks are, for the most part, done by showing them like projected movies on walls. It's a really neat way to do it. It keeps you from breaking from the gameplay, and it allows you to experience the game without it taking you out of it at any point. It works really, really well. And again, the fact that they mix it up with dear old, interrogation sequences most of the time. It's in like half the interrogation sequences. Well, point is, it keeps you in the game, it keeps you immersed, it's a great way to do it. And again, I'm just showing the neat little projection things. If you get in front of them, they do project on you, which is nice. One of the biggest flaws in the game, though, are the actual cutscenes themselves. Every level starts out with a cutscene, or there's a cutscene in the middle, and they're just, giving you what happened in the previous games, what's going on in your head, and so on and so forth. But the biggest problem here is when they happen, you saw those red dots at the start, that's the save icon. That kind of takes you out of it. When you get to the point where you can skip, when it's loaded the level and you can skip the cutscene, a little A button with skip underneath will appear for the rest of the damn scene. See right there, and it will be there the entire time. I can't just press pause and have it appear. It's there the entire damn time, and that just kind of shoots a hole in the immersion of these cutscenes. It makes them a little less pulling you in. It kind of just, I don't know, it's a little weak in that particular aspect. And again, the final thing I really have to mention is the fact that even though the single-player campaign is only 5 hours long, there is a co-op campaign which will add a couple hours in, and there is online multiplayer that you can play the co-op with. You can play a couple modes. It adds a little bit to the gameplay, but it doesn't add a huge amount. At best, I would say you'd get about maybe 12 hours out of this game. At best. That is why I can't recommend it as something you buy. It's a fantastic game, but unless it's really your kind of game, I only can recommend renting it. And that's pretty much all I wrote.